So market validation is where we use real world evidence. This is where, in this masterclass, we will go through the various tools, various techniques, various platforms that you can use to find out what your audience is saying. Where have they posted reviews? Where have they posted questions? Where have they posted comments? Where can you find topics? Where can you find ideas? Where can you find keywords? Where can you find what they want? And as soon as you do that, you can build videos that match. You have the information, they have the question. Then you make the video. You're not guessing, thinking, oh, I don't know what they want to see, but I'll just make this video. You know what they are looking for, and you make videos in alignment with that.
So, in the first workshop, we covered personal validation. And just to recap very quickly, personal validation is through your lived experiences. Now we do market validation, where we look at real world, real evidence. And what we're going to do, we're going to tell you all of the sources that you can look at to find exactly what people are struggling with. So this session is going to be about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit less now. Then we'll have a 15-minute break, and then we will do the workshop like we did yesterday, where you're really going to understand how to find the personal validation and market validation. So let's go into it. Next. Okay, so why is it important? So as we said, it stops you guessing what might work. And this is the biggest thing content creators need to understand. All content creators we know are obsessed with data. The most inexperienced content creators we know just share information and hope it works. We don't want to be those types of creators. We want to be people who do create content based on data and information. Because we can see exactly how people describe their problems in their own words. And we create Dharma content that is timely, relevant, and useful. And this is the most important thing. Now, although there seems to be some degree of pattern in everything that we're saying, the sources of information in this session are going to be very different to what you've already seen.
And this is where it's also about understanding keywords again. So instead of relationship problems, too generic, what people actually are going to be typing is, my husband is not listening to me, and he always complains. This is a real problem. Relationship problems is too generic. So you want to solve a real problem by using keywords and describing and discussing topics that people are searching for. I cannot find the best places to visit in Sikkim that are for Padmasambhava caves. Not travel in Sikkim. Not religious places in Sikkim. That is too generic. When we create content that is specific, by using the keywords and phrasing it, saying it, like they do, if they describe their problem as, my child is throwing tantrums, and he walks out the room, and I don't have a good relationship with him. Now you create a video. If your child is throwing tantrums and ends up leaving the room and doesn't listen to you and it's affecting your relationship, try this. That is a creative topic. You're creating exactly what they want. It's a topic that the people are looking for. It's a problem that they are facing. They are not saying, how do I fix my relationship? It's too generic. No one talks like that. So you, as the content creator, cannot talk like that. You talk as though you are talking to your audience, as though you're talking to a friend, as though you're talking to someone who you're trying to help.
Great. So one of the things that I want to understand from the audience is, does anyone know any good sources where they may find good content ideas? Anyone? Okay, we have one idea here. Let's see.
Google keyword trends.
Google keyword trends, possibly. The challenge is that it doesn't describe the problem in the way that your audience writes it, right? So it tells you the keywords, but not how the keywords come together, right? So we will touch on that. Any other ideas? Where else could you look online if you want to understand what type of problems your audience is having?
I think community groups are Reddit, posting where people are posting their questions.
Reddit is a great example because people are anonymous, so they don't fear judgment. And because they don't fear judgment, they will post authentic content described in the exact way of their problems. And I'm going to touch on that because you raised a really interesting point. What you can do, and I'll share this one tip with you before we go on to the next slide, because it's something that I have personally done. I look on Reddit, and I find every single blog or every single post that my audience has written about a specific problem. So let's say one of the problems was like manifestation, and people couldn't manifest, right? Because manifestation is this very new age problem. I copy and pasted over 50 different posts by 50 different people into ChatGPT, right? I put it all in one document, and then I put it into ChatGPT. And I said, ChatGPT, this is exactly how my audience is describing their problem. Now, based on this, help me write a title using their own words. Help me write a script using their own words. So when I am saying the script, it's not just me and my knowledge and what I think. It is me creating resonance in every single line. And that makes them feel that I'm speaking directly to them. Because these days you can use AI. You can use 50 Reddit posts of one particular issue. You can throw it in, and you can find out exactly how to phrase. Phrasing is very important, because you might have the best solution, but if you don't know how to phrase it in a way that connects, you lose people, right? So Reddit is a perfect example of this. And in this session, we're going to cover several different sources. So let's kick off with the first one. If this clicker works. Okay, learning from books. Okay, anyone here read books? Yeah? Okay, pretty much like half of you. Okay, fantastic. So the reason why books work is because books show us what people are already searching, buying, and learning from. So the reviews actually reveal what's working and what's missing. If we read any books, it's going to have 5-star reviews, it's going to have 1-star reviews. Very normal, even the best books in the world. There isn't a single book in the world that doesn't have a 1-star review, right? Because not everything is going to resonate with everyone. And therefore, when we look at this, the step one is finding the top 10 books in your category. So let's say you specialize in helping people with some form of mental suffering, right? Or motivation, or what else could it be?
Let's say we have locations that are spiritual sites, right? So we can find any type of book in any niche and try and find the top 10. Once we find the top 10, we look at the reviews. And in the reviews, people will say, oh, I couldn't find this, or this was really good and this was really helpful. Oh, I struggled to understand where this was and this wasn't clear. When people are commenting, they are telling you what they like and what they dislike, what they understand, what they don't understand, what they want to know more of, what they don't really care about as much.
So you can pick the top 10 Dharma books, right? And any Dharma books that you find, you can say, okay, if I look at these top 10 Dharma books, what was it that people really liked in the reviews? Because then you create comments like that, then you create video like that, right? If you know people already like it, then you create more content like that. But then you look at the 1-star reviews. What did they not like? So in many Dharma books, they're often too complicated, right? People don't understand because they're not simple enough. So then you can say, this is such a profound teaching of this piece of Dharma, but it's always so complicated. So much technical words, so much religious words. People all around the world cannot relate to it. So how can I simplify this? Right? And that's where you pick up the tips. So every one of us has access to Amazon. Every single one of us knows the best books in our niche, whatever it may be. And every single one of us has the ability to look at the good reviews and already do what works and what people like but look at the bad reviews and see them as fantastic opportunities to help people where they felt that they were not helped.
And find the categories. So let's say you do want to spread understanding from the Dharma texts and the Dharma books. Good, fine. So then you type in top 10 meditation books, best mindfulness books, best books to help with mental health. And then you will get loads and loads based on, you could sort by average reviews. And once you get the top 10 books, what do? You open them in a new tab and you look at the reviews for every single one. Now you know what people care about and don't care about. And then you take the Dharma text and you say, how can I teach the Dharma text to answer their questions over here? Now there is resonance. I understood this, I love this about this book, but I didn't understand how to deal with X. Okay, take this, take the Dharma text. If you're struggling with this, you can use this in this way. So you merge, you bridge the gap. You don't just talk about this or just talk about that. You blend the two by understanding the problem and understanding how they can achieve the gain state.
Yeah. We go to the next slide. So it's like we said, you look at the best reviews and the worst reviews, right? What's also really interesting about books is that especially the ones that are most popular, so the best-selling books in your niche, look at the chapters, right? If tens of thousands of people are buying this book, it is because the chapters of the book resonate with them. So sometimes a book may have 15 chapters, right? But each one of those 15 chapters is something that really connected with people. So you can take one of those 15 chapters, or even all of them, and create videos about the same topic, the same chapters. The information is out there. It's just about how we use it. So typically, if you were to do some research before creating content, you can take the best reviews of the top 10 books, and you can take the worst reviews, and you put it into a document, and you put it into ChatGPT. And you say, hey ChatGPT, these are some of the reviews from the top books, and these are some of the chapter titles. We already know what people would like to create, what people would like to see in content. But here are the negative reviews of what they didn't like. Give me now 10 content ideas based on this research, and you will have content ideas that will work. Because we are not guessing. We know it works because these are the top best-selling books in your niche. These are the best comments. And we also know it works because now people have written what they didn't click with, and we're creating videos about that.
And we could even upload the sutra into there and say, hey, I'm sure enough people have already done it, right? And they say, what is the most relevant verse that applies to this problem?
Yeah.
Now, you can go and study that more deeply. You've actually understood it. You've heard it from other teachers. They've explained it to you in a way that you can explain it even better than GPT can give you. You are coming from experience. You are coming from genuine knowledge rather than just another form of it. But by quickly finding what are the best verses, what are the most relevant verses, and then extracting that quickly to connect it to the pain state, to the problem, then there is resonance. Looking for resonance again and again and again.
I shared a verse on day one, right, when we started this, about the importance of spreading the Dharma. And I did the exact same strategy. I didn't know what particular verse and what particular text, but I found it that talked about the importance of spreading the Dharma. So, yeah, great. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, no, I think you've got to go back. Okay, fantastic. Programs and courses. How many people have seen, whether it's religious organizations or individuals, hold some type of program or a course? How many people have seen that? Okay, quite a lot of you, right? No matter what religious organization it is, no matter what online person it is, everyone has some type of program or a course. Now, it's very easy to think, well, I'm competing against them, right? Because they already have the courses, they already have their programs, people are already buying these things. But in fact, it's an opportunity. Because if people are already buying these courses, if people are already buying these programs, then something must be working, right? Otherwise, why would people buy them, right? So it's about looking at what people are already buying. If people are paying for programs and paying for mentorships, online courses, workshops, in-person events, retreats, therapy, seminars, whatever it is, right? It proves that there is real demand. Otherwise, why would anyone create it, right? People are not going to create programs and courses if no one is going to buy it. So we have to search for programs and courses around what you specialize in. So if you specialize in mindfulness, look at mindfulness courses. If you specialize in calmness, peace, clarity, stress release, addiction, healing, like some of you have said, look at the courses and understand what people are already buying. Because then you can create content that you know people are already purchasing, right? Because now it's validated. If people are purchasing, it means it works.
Yeah, next slide.
So this is
Yeah, so one of the key things is about all of this, start to finish, is market validation is the market. It is the marketplace. It is Amazon, it is Google, it is communities like we discussed, it is Google Trends, it is Google Keyword Search. Everything, whether it's courses, programs, tell us what people are struggling with. We find out what the content ideas are. The market is telling us what to create. We are not creating because we feel like creating or we think it's a good idea. We are removing the guesswork. We are finding out that actually, if there is a stress reduction course and there's 10,000 stress reduction courses, which there probably is, it means I can talk about stress all day. I can be the Buddhist monk that helps with stress. Because that is something people want. And therefore, we're no longer creating videos without talking about how the sutra, how the text, how these meditation practices benefit with stress. We are not just talking about the theory, we are talking about the application. Not here's how it is going to the benefits of Buddha Dharma, here's the benefits of Buddha Dharma in your life. In this problem, in this matter, with your son, with your wife, with your friend, with your boss, with your colleagues at work that you're struggling and you feel stressed at work. Situational, application, 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 not generic. Which is why formats, niches, and now we take the understanding of the market to make it resonate.
And in many courses, you can see how many people signed up. Some people say 100 people signed up, 10,000 people signed up. This is all proof that it works. So in one of the last days where we speak about monetization, it's like you can create specific courses for specific people because you know they work and you know it's what your audience wants. So with that being said, let's move on to the next one. Influencers. How many of you guys have seen these influencers before? You've seen them online? Okay, fantastic. Now, they spend a ton of money doing research. They have big teams. But you can look at what they're already doing, which of their videos got the most amount of views, and you can create something like that, right? There is a book. I don't know if you've heard of it. How many of you have heard the book Steal Like an Artist? Have any of you heard it? Okay, a few people. It's a great book. Because it tells you you don't need to go and rethink everything. You can already do what works in the world. That doesn't mean you copy. That means that you give your own authentic version of it in a way that relates to you and to a very specific audience member. It means you bring your, we say this USP, right? Your uniqueness to that piece of content. It means that you bring your teachings, your experience, your life through and share the same lesson in your own way. Because just because they do it, it doesn't mean it appeals to everyone, right? But the content idea, we know it works. So by watching what works by influencers in your niche, whether that's in mindfulness, calm, spirituality, and what content styles are trending and getting engagement, then you can create a very similar type of content that is very authentic to who you are and the lesson that you want to share about the same topic.
So you could go onto YouTube or any platform, on TikTok, anywhere, and you search something along the lines of stress and add a name of an influencer. Or just type in the name of the influencer and sort by most viewed, most liked. And when you do it and sort, you will see the most popular videos. So then you can create a video, if it is in the same niche, about a similar topic. And by doing that again and again and again, this is not going to be a one-off, right? Again and again and again. We make videos and videos and videos around different topics. But by learning from influencers and by seeing how many are which ones are the most liked, which ones are the most shared, and by understanding this data, we make better decisions. We make clear choices. We understand what our audience is looking for.
So what's the best way to do it, right? Here is exactly the best way to do it. Because it's like Jamin said, it's never a one-time action. So how do you ensure that it's not something which is very hard for you all the time? So imagine copying and pasting all of the reviews from all of the books. Imagine copying and pasting all of the subreddits from Reddit. Imagine keeping one live Google Doc, right, of all of this information. And then maybe once a week or periodically, you go in there and you update it. Every time you update that document and put it into ChatGPT, it has more information, so it can guide you better. So if you look at any of Jay Shetty's videos or any of these monks' videos, and you check their comments, you put, what do people love? What do they really like about this video? You look at things that they feel is missing or disliked, and you keep updating a Google Doc that you will then put into ChatGPT. Because now you are feeding it based on live comments, you see? You're feeding it based on things that you are looking at the top influencers in your niche, the top content creators, and studying all of their comments to find what people found was missing or what didn't quite sit with them. Was their video too generic, right? The benefit that you have over them is that when they become too big, they become too generic. But you become very, very specific. So you get known as a very specific content creator for that particular niche. And that's what makes it very valuable.
Next slide.
So it's like we said, don't copy, adapt with authenticity by using these insights to shape the teachings that fill the gaps and speak directly to people's needs. And the whole point of looking at influencers is that they show us what people are already paying attention to. You've got to remember, all of the hard work is done for you. It's in books, it's in subreddits, it's already in your influencers. You're not starting from scratch. Nobody here is starting from scratch. All of the data is already there. Your job is to simply compile it and gather it. And once you've gathered it, you will know 100% what works.
And you can do this for the platforms as well. Where do they have the most followers? Where are they posting most frequently? What is the place in which they actually get the most engagement? By understanding that, you can know, okay, these are the top influencers. What formats are they using? Are they doing long form? Are they doing short form? Which one's working better for them? By understanding how they are posting, where they are posting, how often they are posting, and you can see all of this just by typing in their name, looking at their channel, and once you've gone to their channel, you can see the frequency of their posts. And by doing that, you know the formats, you know, and look at their titles and their descriptions. You understand what people care about. And if you understand what people care about, you can make more relevant content. You can make content that people are like, yes, this is my problem. This is it. This is exactly what I wanted to know. This is what I'm struggling with. Thank you. You know, and then suddenly your audience is like, I want to follow this person. He's going to take me from here to here. And every time I watch his video or her video, yes, this is it. This is gold. This is amazing, right? This is what I was looking for. And you want people to feel that every time. And if you want to get that every time and not once or twice, have to be able to do the right research, and the research comes from learning what they are doing as well.
Thank you. Let's go on to the next slide, please. So, digital groups. So, there are many digital groups about that. We've already touched on Reddit, so I won't go into that in too much detail. But Reddit is, the reason why Reddit is so good is because everyone is anonymous. So no one is known who is posting what, and that is one of the benefits. But there's also Facebook. Facebook, if you look at certain groups, they will post a lot of essentially ideas and a lot of fears and a lot of concerns that they have, right? And they will post videos like this, like, look, I'm really interested in Buddhism, but I keep getting hung up because it's not my culture. That's a video here. Another person said, what would you say is the biggest misconception, what's this say? The biggest misconception about
Westerners
about Buddhism. That's a video idea. The more I learn about Buddhism, the more I struggle to believe. You can see there's 144 comments there, right? Why do people struggle to believe? That's a content idea. To guess. Everyone is already engaging, right? If these had 0 comments, we wouldn't be looking at them. But people are already telling us what they're struggling with. So why would we then create something that we don't even know works? It doesn't make sense. If we know that this is what people are finding challenging, then we should use this information.
And this is how we bring our experience in. Share your own story. When I first started, I had doubts. When I first started, I didn't know. When I first started, I felt I was unsure. When I first began my journey, I didn't really know how to. Now it's like, okay, you felt like that as well? You're a monk, you're someone living over there, you've been practicing for 10 years, and really, you? And it's like, oh, okay, I can trust you. You are authentic, you are someone who can resonate with me. Because I've been practicing for 2 years, and I struggle too. I've been practicing for 3 years in this particular field, in Zen Buddhism, or I was in Sri Lanka, I did a retreat for 2 weeks and I really loved it, but then I went to my home life and I just haven't really had the time. So, do you struggle to find time as well? Do you struggle to practice sometimes as well? Do you struggle to connect as well? Like, if you tell me your experience, I can resonate. And this is the point, we're not trying to display this perfection that, nothing is a problem. Everything in my life is perfect just because I'm a monk. I have no suffering, I have no problems, I've achieved it, I'm done, So by resonating, by saying, I also find this, I also struggle with this, I also didn't know, I'm still learning this. Okay, that is humility, that is someone I can connect with. This is how we go from learning about the problems that they are describing and then bringing our experience in. So if someone says, the more I struggle to believe, well, I've been doing this for years and sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I struggle to believe that I will gain enlightenment in this lifetime. It's difficult for me to believe that sometimes too. But this is what I do. This is how I overcome it. This is how I take time out of my day to work on these things. Okay, good. Now I'm with you. There are 144 people. Instantly you're like, this is my guide. This is my person. This is the person I want to follow.
Yeah, great. Good. We can go to the next step. So I'm sure you know by now, there are endless content ideas. Every week, there are people posting multiple pain points. These are real struggles that are ready to make content ideas about. The more upvotes typically means that there's more resonance. You can see there's 224 upvotes there, there's 136 and 82. That means 200 and something people are struggling with this. That's 200 plus viewers already who really want to watch your content. It's already there. No guessing. 100% data and science-backed content creation. This is why it works. This is why we're not going to be like every other content creator who just creates videos and hope it. The hope is gone. This is real data and real science. By looking at these answers, we can help people with real struggles. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. The last one is Google and YouTube. Now, How many of you have seen this monk? Okay, pretty much everyone, right? But look at what he's doing. It's exactly what Jamin and I are saying. Listen to this when you're feeling down. Try this to clear your mind, right? He's taking the pain, the specific, feeling down is a very specific pain. But he said, listen to this when you're feeling pain, when you're feeling down, right? He is taking a very specific pain point and providing a solution for it. And that's why he is so popular.
And he's also actually saying something very important here. He's taking away the friction. The friction is, this person is probably someone I can't relate to. How is he doing that? He's saying Buddhism in English. This guy doesn't look like he can speak in English probably. I don't even know, maybe, but maybe it's not even in my language. But as soon as he's written Buddhism in English, okay, maybe, maybe I'll understand, maybe I'll give it a go. So before I even choose to click on it, and I may reject it because there is friction, he stops that by writing it in the title. So not only is he creating resonance, but he's creating more resonance of saying, I'm speaking your language. I can connect with you. I do understand you. We can talk together. We can understand each other. Because one of the key things that people think, oh, probably just another language and scroll past it, right? So one of the key parts is how can I remove friction? So let's say that we create another situation. How to deal with stress from a Buddhist perspective, brackets, I have felt this too.
Yeah, great.
So, oh my God, he's a monk and he's felt stress too? Okay, well, let me go listen to this. Like, I'm suddenly now I go from to, and that's what stops people, is how to create resonance.
People don't want to be lectured. People don't always want the solution, as crazy as that sounds. People want to feel like you understand them first, then they want the solution. Whatever the language is, it doesn't matter, right? It could be stressed, it could be anxious. If you feel like you can't overcome addiction, watch this. Buddhism in English, right? This is what I was saying, that we don't necessarily need to copy, but it's about understanding the science behind what works. All of this, what he has done, is validate what Jamin and I have been telling you. Very specific pains. We take out the friction. We create resonance. That's exactly what he's done, and that's exactly why he's one of the biggest creators. And now, there is no reason for any of you not to also be big creators, because we understand the same science as he does, and therefore you have the same opportunity.
And human psychology says, this person has an answer, but it does not apply to me.
Yeah.
This is the number one biggest reason to scroll past. Is you might have a solution, but that works for you. It's because you're a monk, it's because you live over there, it's because you don't have my problems. If you had my problems, you wouldn't be able to do it. If you had my life, it wouldn't be possible. There is always an excuse. Excuse, excuse, excuse. There is dismissiveness. I don't need that. They don't understand. So the first thing is resonance. The first thing is, I feel that too. I struggle with this too. I felt this before. Here's what I did, my 30-day of meditation. Here's what I learned during 10 days of doing this retreat. Because everyone wants to say, you do not understand me. You don't. You can apply your solution because you're in a monastery. You can apply your solution because you live in retreat. You can apply your solution because you live in India. You can apply your solution because you have a teacher. I don't, so I can't do what you're telling me. Find their excuses and use the excuses as part of the hook. Use their excuses to resonate. So you could say something like, try this to clear your mind, even if meditation has never worked before.
Resonance.
That's resonance. This is how we resonate. It is by getting them to believe that they can do this. Because they just no one believes that this is going to work. Which is why they, nah, it's okay, I don't want to. It's unhelpful. It's unapplicable. Doesn't apply to me. Whatever you're saying doesn't, I have a different life. And this is huge. Very, very, very big. The human mind dismisses. It says, can't, not possible. You don't have my problems, you don't have my life, you cannot tell me how to live it better. So your job is to say, well, maybe we can connect, because I have faced something like this. I did struggle with this. I did come across this. I have helped someone in your shoes before, and they said this. Now I'm in. Yeah?
Amazing. Let's go to the last slide. So YouTube we've already spoken about. You can search the same question and then study the titles that come up. So one of the things that I asked on day one is, how many of you hate it when you spend so much time creating a video, yet no one clicks on it? And no one clicks on it because of the title, and no one clicks on it because of the thumbnail, right? So the title, you just have to look at what already works. If you say, okay, I help these type of people with this problem, look at the titles which got the most views. Because now, you copy and paste the top 10, top 20, top 30 titles, you put it into ChatGPT and you say, hey ChatGPT, these titles got this amount of views, you put it in a small little Excel sheet, and you say, based on this, what is the best possible title I can create? OpenAI, who created ChatGPT, is spending billions of dollars creating the most complex AI system in the world, and you can use that for your title. It's incredible. Everyone has already done the hard work for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're trying to say. Your job is to simply use it, right? And that's the beauty of it. So you know you are going to create YouTube titles that 100% work, because the AI is telling you, okay, so that title got 100,000 views, but that title only got 30,000 views. So let's look a little bit more focused on the ones that got higher views. You see? That's how these creators are doing it, and that's how you can do it too.
And in Facebook, you can, because a lot of you said that you were going to be on Instagram and Facebook during our mentor meeting yesterday, so you could take the titles from YouTube and stick them onto the Facebook video. Put them as the title at the top. So as soon as someone is scrolling, they stop and they see the title and say, oh, okay, that is to do with me. But in just 3 to 5 words that says, this is what the video is about. I understand. I get it. This is me. This is for me. Self-centered. Your audience is self-centered. You need to find a way to say, this is how it's going to benefit you. Very, very succinctly. 5 words, approximately. Maximum. Yeah? Maybe a few emojis to kind of spice things up a little bit.
We'll go into the science of that a little bit later. But we're at time for the next workshop. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a 15-minute break, and then we're going to come back for the workshop. Very similar to what we did yesterday, very interactive. The facilitators are going to go around. Each of you will get a sheet, and you will apply the lessons from the first 2 workshops that we did this morning. So get up, get refreshed, walk around, and we'll come back in 15 minutes when the gong sounds to start the workshop. See you soon, guys. Thank you.